Warning: Alan and JJ Johnson are not professional comedians. During this program, you will be exposed to unfiltered dad jokes in their most potent and raw form, dads telling them to each other. Watching this video may lead to serious physical harm, including facepalm concussions, head-shaking whiplash, and uncontrollable groaning. Proceed at your own risk.
Hey everybody, this is Alan Brokken.
And I'm JJ.
And this is Two Dads and a Joke. And so we're here to give you at least a 6-pack of dad jokes and some parenting advice around how to keep your marriage strong for your kids. So, speaking of that, it's really nice to really, take your wife out somewhere special. I always wanted to take her to a restaurant on the moon. I grew up thinking about space and Star Wars. I really wanted to take her to a restaurant on the moon. And, when I told her that's what we ought to go do, you know what she said?
What?
She didn't think it'd have any atmosphere. Now, you know what, JJ? That comes from Josh Smith. That is one of our contest entries, and we'll talk about that contest a little bit. So thanks, Josh Smith, for that. JJ, what's one you got?
All right. Keeping with the science, kind of. You know why I don't trust atoms?
Why? Wouldn't you trust an atom?
They make up everything.
I've heard that punchline with a different front end. That was well played, sir. All right, so in case you're new to the channel, I'm Alan Brokken. I'm the author of the upcoming Towers of Light series, and which will be coming out about Christmas time. We're going to be doing some launch stuff here a little bit later, but just to say it's a middle grade story. Think of it a little bit like, Little House on the Prairie meets some sort of swords and sorcery kind of stuff, might be one way to think about it. But it's all faith-based and, with a real Christian worldview to it. JJ, how about you? Why don't you give an introduction?
Well, my name is JJ Johnson. I'm from Edmond, Oklahoma, and I'm a middle grade author as well. My first middle grade book, Iggy, Oz, and the Plastic Dinos of Doom, just came out a few weeks ago, and yes, I was sporting it. Iggy and Oz and the Plastic Dinos of Doom is book 1 in the Iggy and Oz series, and it's about two little brothers who find this old chest from this quirky individual that used to live in their neighborhood, and their dinosaurs that were put inside mysteriously come to life and are now tearing up the neighborhood, and they, along with their friends, have to stop them before they really wreck everything within their little neighborhood. I pitch it as Goonies meets Diary of the Wimpy Kid. And that's kind of
Goonies meets Diary of the Wimpy Kid. You know what I thought of it as you're describing it? I really thought it was more like Jumanji meets Jurassic Park. They put those two together in a mashup. With
a little bit of Indian in the cupboard and everything else.
And that whole thing of vomiting that you talked about a little bit, that sounded a little bit like, Eating Fried Worms, that book from back when I was a kid. So it's all goodness that a growing boy needs in their mind to grow properly. So definitely want to pick up the Iggy and Oz Plastic Dinos of Doom. And so along those lines, right, Josh Smith, he submitted a joke.
That's right.
He's entered to win. What is he entered to win?
He is entered to win. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Iggy's Dino Box.
Iggy's Dino Box. All right, let's hear about this.
All right, Iggy's Dino Box is a subscription type box based around the Iggy and Oz series. Inside is a bunch of swag, including a Sour Patch scented candle, some
nice,
some dinosaurs, plastic dinosaurs, and of course a print copy of the book itself. And
very good.
Sent out to the winner of the best dad joke that we have taken for these 6 weeks, and I'm excited to see who ends up winning it.
I am too, and the other thing about this is when this season closes, we gotta rest a couple weeks because we're dads and we're old and stuff.
Right,
but we're gonna have a couple of outtakes that are basically just the jokes, so we can figure out who these best jokes were.
That's right.
So along those lines, though, I've been out on the social media, and last couple weeks we were talking about Twitter, but there's some pretty funny stuff out on Facebook too.
Yeah.
So here's a good one. How did the farmer find his wife?
I have no idea.
He tracked her down. That's from Salty South Route out on the Facebook there. So there you go. He tracked her down.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But once he found his wife, then when I think about that, my wife and I we're a young married couple with little kids. One of the big challenges we had was it almost took a SWAT team to put him to bed.
Yeah.
Can you guess why?
Why?
They were resisting arrest. How about you, JJ? What dad joke you got for me today?
Well, I noticed that you got this whole Star Wars thing going on behind you.
Yeah.
We got Christmas coming up here in a couple of months. Of course, if you some stories, you feel like it's already Christmas, but that is true. But do you know what Darth Vader? Do you know how Darth Vader knew what Luke got him for Christmas?
How did Darth Vader know what Luke got him for Christmas?
He felt his presence.
Oh, he felt his presence. Wow.
All right, that one bomb.
No. That's all right. I remember doing that as a kid, trying to figure out what things were, but I didn't have the force. Wow. So JJ, we're tonight. Last couple weeks we've been talking about connections, family, vacations, things like that. But I think as dads, we also have this other person in our family, our spouse, that we've got to kind of figure out how to get connected with.
That's right.
And so we were going to talk about that tonight. So what's on your mind there?
Well, this is where one of those areas I think we all as husbands feel like at times we kind of just fell at. And with me and my wife, we both work full time. She works on staff at a church, so life is very, very, very busy for her. And I'm over here with the kids, trying to do the church thing with the kids and keep their activities organized with the church activities. She's trying to take care of school activities. And at times it feels like we both have all these 100 things going on at once. I have no idea why I'm doing this, by the way. But anyway, one of the things that, that finding time to just do, a simple date night, and it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be just go for a cup of coffee and just talk. My wife is a huge reader. I'm a huge reader. One of our favorite things to do is just send the kids to grandma's for a night and just sit down and just read and have some quiet and just, she's on one side of the couch, I'm on the other side of the couch, and we're just in the same room together, but we're both doing what we love and things like that. One of the things I try to do for my wife, as I try to get up, I try to get the kids' bags ready before I leave for work. I try to get, a lot of the housework done. I'm kind of a neat freak, so I'm kind of OCD. So I try to do a lot of those things around the house because her schedule's a lot more chaotic than mine. I work the normal 8 to 5 type job. Hers is a lot of late nights at times, things like that. She has a lot of dinners she cooks for. So I try to do a lot of those things. But there are the small things also that I miss from time to time that I know she wants me to do better at. And so I think for me, it's trying to do things for my wife, trying to be respectful, and then trying to respond the right way at times when she's stressed and she needs to vent. And, sometimes you want to get defensive, and just instead learning to listen. And so for me, I try to do those things, but also, we need to get away and just disconnect and just be a husband and wife and just enjoy each other's company. One of my favorite memories with me and my wife is we sat down one morning, and we started watching a Netflix show. No kids were around, and we started at like 8:30 a.m. and it was this series, and it had like 12 episodes. And like at 9 o'clock at night, we realized we hadn't gotten off the couch. We watched the entire thing, and we just sat there and had fun and just binge watched an entire TV series. And it seems like such an incredible waste of time, and it probably is, but it was fun for us. We were just enjoying sitting there and doing that, and which is something we don't always get to do because our kids are a little bit smaller. They're 7 and 5, and so for us, it's just finding little times like that and making an effort to get the kids, kind of out of the house for a day, or out of the house for sitting with grandma's for a week, or for not a week, a night, and just kind of having that time together to where we're not going out and spending much money. We're not going out and doing a lot of out to eat and restaurants and stuff. Sometimes we're just staying at home and fixing our own seafood and things like that, and just hanging out and binge watching some TV or sitting down and reading a book. But it's finding and making the effort to find the time to do that. That's how it is for us anyway. And because I know what my wife likes, I know what she needs, and she knows what I need and what I like as well. And we have a lot of the same interests when it comes to books and things like that. And so I think it's making the effort that's the challenge, and not forgetting that you need to make that effort. And that's something that, I need to do a better job as well, because life gets busy. And we get caught up in what we're doing every single day. Anyway, how about you, Alan?
Yeah, so all of those things, and then some. I mean, I've been married a little longer, have a little bit older kids. I think the big thing was my wife and I were premarital counselors at a church for a while, and so we got all this training on things. And I think when it comes to how do we stay connected, I think one of the big things that you didn't mention was money. And it's not so much about what you spend, did we go out to eat at a dinner or whatever, but that we got in line on that topic, what were our priorities, where were we going to spend the money, how were we going to do that, and kept an open line of communication about that over the years to just really make sure that when we were connecting, that was a topic, right? Like, pretty much you can guarantee if we go out to dinner, we're going to talk about, what's going on with the money, what's going on with our schedule, time. Money and time are two big things that you can run into conflict with each other. What's going on with our kids, right? Like, who's having issues with their friends? Who do we need to be training up in a different way? That kind of stuff. Obviously, the spiritual aspect that you kind of alluded to earlier. And then the last part of it is just what are our dreams? Because it's really, the couples we know that have kind of fallen by the wayside from all of the stress of these other 4 things, right? Conflicts over money, conflicts over time, conflicts over, different thinking on spiritual matters. At the end, the first thing to go is your dreams, right? And so I've got this dream about having this book series and whatnot, and just having fun. And so, my wife got on board with that. And so one of the things that happens is she sends me dad jokes all the time. I can't enter her in the contest. That wouldn't be fair. But here's a good one for you. She says, "Can't believe someone broke into my garage and stole the limbo stick." Seriously, how low can you go? That's my wife supporting my dream and visions of having awesome dad jokes. That's the kind of little thing, and it's this idea. When we were sort of telling young couples about this stuff, it was a daily diversion, a weekly connected rewind, I think is what they called it, and a yearly escape, right? And so we do that. Our anniversary comes around, we get out and do things together. But these kind of daily, just little things like that go a long way to sharing your dreams and keeping things together. Now, granted, we're not at this stage I'm buying her exotic pearls, but who doesn't like to share their pearls?
Who's that?
Oysters. You know why they don't share their pearls?
No, I have no idea.
There's shellfish.
All right. So, since we're talking about dad jokes, when does a dad joke? When does a joke become a dad joke?
I don't know. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When it becomes apparent.
Oh, nice. I like it. Yeah, that's good.